All right, today we're going to be talking about segments in circles. If you look at these notes on the front, you'll see the words chords, secant, and tangents. These different things are whenever they are intersecting. So, for the very first picture, do you agree I have two chords? Whenever you have two chords, they are going to intersect inside the circle. And the little trick, and you're going to have to memorize these three formulas. You've already had to memorize area of a sector, area of a segment, arc length. Now we have these three formulas. I'm going to teach you two tomorrow and one Friday. It's a lot of formulas. So today I'm going to try to tell you things to help you remember these. So the first one, if you have two chords, I want you to multiply the top times the bottom equals the left times the right. The top times the bottom equals the left times the right. And I'll explain what that means in a second. If you open these notes, it says, if two chords intersect in a circle, then the product of the measures of the segment of the chord are equal. So this is the actual formal formula. A times B equals C times D. I personally think that can get confusing, which is why I do the top times the bottom equals the left times the right. So, just as an example, let's say I made this 4 and 6, 2, and X. What is up top? 2. What is on the bottom?
X.
Equals, what is to the left? What is to the right? 6. How do I get X by itself? 4 times 6 is? So do y'all agree this would be 2X equals 24? How do you get X by itself? So what does X equal here? Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Now, the only reason this can get tricky is, open up your notes, is if, do I have a top, bottom, left, right here?
Yes.
Kind of. Rotate your paper. Figure it out. Does that make sense? So I'm going to label this the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. Are y'all okay with that? I just rotated my paper, and now I made top, bottom, left, right. What's up top? Times, what's on the bottom? 6. Does everybody see how I got that? What's to the left? What's to the right? What questions do I have? Okay, what do I do now? Distribute. What is 6 times X and 6 times negative 1? What is 4 times X and 4 times 3? Do y'all agree this is just algebra 1?
Yeah.
Solve it out. I'm going to do the same. Did we do what was asked of us? Yes. Do I have any questions? Okay, for some reason, this picture right here, this picture right here was supposed to be up there, so I'm going to draw an arrow up. Okay, now, do you see two chords in this picture down here? I see one chord. But the other one, what can I don't have to finish drawing the other chord. So, it's still the radius, but I'm just going to draw it like this. Okay, so tell me what you're thinking in your head, because you're on the right track. 15 minus 10 is what? 5. Do y'all agree that little one right there is 5? The problem with that is if you just did that, are those two chords? No. We have to see this whole thing as the bottom. What is this whole thing as the bottom? 20 is my bottom. What's the top? 10. What's the left? What's the right? How do I get 5 again? Do you agree O to D is a radius? And if you know the radius, so does that make sense? O to D is a radius? What's my radius? 15. So I did 15 minus 10 to get that little 5. Yeah. Okay, I'm going too fast. Let me do it again. First, I'm going to turn my paper. Then I just continued this because you cannot do this unless you have two chords. And the picture that I had only had one chord showing. So I'm just making that a chord by connecting it all the way. Yeah, I know this bottom part of the green line is 15, and you told me that was 5. So what's the whole bottom portion? 20. So now I'm going to do my rule. What is the top? 10 times the bottom, 20, equals, what is the left? What's the right? And what do I do? Sorry, I wrote that down. What do I do?
8x is equal to 10 times 20.
What's 10 times 20?
200.
So 200 equals 8x. Divide by 8. And what did you get?
25.
X is 25.
Is your next class longer or shorter?
Your next class is shorter. It's only 40, so it's 10 minutes. Your next 3 classes are going to be shorter.
Like, are they going to be regular or are they like
Shorter. They're going to be 10 minutes shorter. These classes were 10 minutes longer. Your next classes will be 10 minutes shorter. Okay. What? All right. Everybody close your notes. The next property we have is when you have a secant to secant theorem. Do you agree this line goes through my circle? That is a secant. Do you agree this line goes through my circle? That is also a secant. Where is a secant and a secant, not always, but in this case, intersect? Outside of the circle. So two chords are going to intersect inside. My secants, you do this when they intersect outside. Okay? I'm going to show you the formula, then we're going to go back and make it easier. Are y'all okay with that? So the formula here is you take x plus w and multiply times w. That's going to equal z plus y multiplied times y. Yes, but the way that I like to say this first part right here, do you agree is adding them together? The second one is the outside. Down here it added them together and then the outside. So when you have two secants, you are going to add together the numbers and multiply by your outside number. And then on the other side, you're going to add together the numbers and then multiply by your outside. That is when you have a secant and a secant. Does that make sense? Add them together, multiply by the outside, then do your other secant. Add it together, multiply by the outside. Can we do an example now?
Yeah.
Okay, open up. What happens when I add these together? Be careful. Add them together.
6x times 6.
Be careful. Add them together.
X
X plus
plus
6. What's the outside? 6. Equals 18 plus 8. What's the outside? 8. Does that make sense though? Because that's a big common mistake. People want to say that's 6x. It's not. It's x plus 6. Alright, I'm going to distribute. What's 6 times x? And 6 times 6. Y'all use your calculators. Can y'all tell me what 18 plus 8 is?
144.
Times 8?
208.
Check it again. Y'all got it. 18 plus 8. Oh, you did 18 times 8 and then plus 64. I get you. So 208. This total is 208 when I put it in the calculator. Shh, y'all. And y'all, is that simple algebra now? Solve it. What is 172 divided by 6? Okay, that's rounded. What if it told you to give an exact answer? Fraction is what?
86 over 3.
86 over 3? Yeah, me too.
What's the decimal?
What's the what?
The decimal in case we have to do like rounded.
What is the decimal?
28.6.
28 point.
What are we round to?
28. It'll tell you if it says rounded. But if it says exact, I want a fraction. That is simplified. And remember, you're getting decimals on this test. You can just hit the fraction bar in decimals. It'll do it for you. Okay.
This is like half a second, kind of.
Last question.
Yeah, I see it. It's weird.
Can I change it? Shh, y'all up front, be quiet. Last one. This time, what do I have on the bottom? On the bottom. The bottom is a secant, but what's on the top? A tangent. It only touches once. So a tangent is a little weird. With your tangent, you're actually still going to add them together and multiply by the outside. But for the tangent, is there anything to add? No. So it ends up being your outside squared. Or your tangent squared. And then we still add, for the secant, we're still going to add and multiply by the outside. Yeah, y'all are going to do the last ones on your own. So outside squared for the tangent. For the secant, you add them together, multiply by the outside. So I want you to set up the equations. Just set them up. Don't solve them yet. For the last two problems we have. Just set them up.
This is just with the homework?
Yeah, this is it. Your tangent squared, add them together, multiply by the outside. Tangent squared, add them together, multiply by the outside. Can you please look up? Did you get these for your setting up the equations?
Yes. Yeah.
Did everybody get that? And by the way, if you put 6 plus x, that's fine. Same thing. All right, I'm going to simplify now. What's 100 squared? I meant what's 10 squared? I gave you all the answer. And did you all get 6x plus 36?
Yep.
And solve.
I feel like sad that I can't work this.
What is 64 divided by 6? 32 over 3. Yeah, we'll talk about that. What is 8 plus 16 times 8? 1 what? 192. All right, I want everybody to look up. I know y'all kind of got off on your own. Everybody look up, please. How do I get z by itself? Square root. And that gives me z equals the square root of 192. And if you put that in the calculator, you get a rounded answer. But what if I ask for an exact answer? We have to simplify it. Remember, when we simplify, we take that number and we divide it by all our perfect squares. 144, 121. I know it's not going to divide by 100. 81. Oh. 192 divided by. And it is 64. So this equals the square root of 64 times the square root of 3. What is the square root of 64? So this is 8 root 3. That is the exact answer. You got that? What questions can I answer? Yeah, I said 15 minutes. I'm right at 15. Okay, 2 things. Your homework is in Schoology. I'm about to make it visible. Hold on. It is 16 problems, exactly like this. You need to show work. So you need a sheet of paper. Organize your work. 16 problems. It is due when you walk in tomorrow. Go.